the e-commerce retail and services chapter. In this chapter, we're gonna study the environment in which the online retail sector operates today. And then we're gonna study how to analyze the economic viability of an online firm. And then we will identify the challenges faced by the different types of online retailers, and also we will study major features of the online service sector. And then we're going to study the trends taking place in the online financial service industry. And also we're going to study the major trends in the online travel services industry today. And then we will identify current trends in the online carrier services industry. And then we're gonna study the business model of on-demand service companies. IBStUp.com, the Amazon of the Middle East, gets acquired by Amazon. This chapter is the first in the series of applied e-commerce chapters. Focuses on understanding the realistic operating environment for e-commerce for different sectors, retail and services, online contents, social network, auctions, and portal, and business-to-business e-commerce. A sector-by-sector approach helps you to understand the complexity of internet business. The opening case, IBStUp.com, the Amazon of the Middle East, describes IBStUp.com, a truly exciting online e-commerce site which operate in the Middle East. The problem for IBStUp.com has been gaining trust from their customers who would buy something on the web. How could you trust the quality? How could you buy something with seeing it? IBStUp.com has some answers. It is the largest online e-commerce site in the Middle East and is in close pursuit of Amazon. Other question for class discourse on this case might include the following. The class discussion. Why is selling or buying over the internet difficult? How has IBStUp.com built its supply chain to keep costs low? How has IBStUp.com reduced the consumer anxiety over online purchases? What are some vulnerabilities facing IBStUp.com? Would you buy anything expensive via IBStUp.com? We're gonna study this issue in our classroom. What's new in online retail? Retail mobile e-commerce exploding. Social networks experiment with social e-commerce, and local e-commerce skyrocket to around $80 billion. Online retail still the fastest growing retail channel. Selection of goods increases include luxury goods. Specialty retail sites show rapid growth. New subscription-based model for online retailing. Big data used for predictive marketing. As you know, the opening case illustrates some of the difficulty that a pure-play startup retail company such as Soup.com and this company faced, particularly when start out in a part of the world such as North America and Middle East that did not initially embrace e-commerce. Pure play startup company often have razor thin profit margin, lack a physical store network to bolster scale to the non-internet audience, and often are based on unproven business assumption that in the long term may not bear out. Actually, online retail, we summarize some of these leading trends in online retailing. Perhaps the most important theme in online retailing is the effort by retailer, both offline and online, to integrate their operation so they can serve customer in the various ways they want to be served. By any measure, the size of the global retail market is huge. Retail sales in Asia Pacific account for about 40% of the total, with North America accounting for about 24% and Europe 22%. The online retail sector. Already explained, most important theme in online retailing is effort to integrate online and offline operation. $20.4 trillion in United States economy, U.S. retailing market, personal consumption of goods and services account for 13.9 trillion, about 69% of total gross domestic product. The retail industry also 7 segments: clothing, durable goods, etc. For each, use of internet may differ. So information versus direct purchasing. Mail order, telephone order, motor sector, most similar to online retail sector. Sophisticated order entry, delivery, inventory control system. The retail industry is composed of many different types of firms. Figure 11.1 illustrates the major segment: durable goods, general merchandise, food and beverage, specialty store, gasoline and pure, mail order, telephone order, and online retail firm. Each of these segments offer opportunity for online retail, and yet in each segment, the uses of the internet may differ. Some eating and drinking establishments use the web and mobile applications to inform people of their physical location and menus, while others offer delivery via online orders. Retailers of durable goods typically use the online channel. You can see figure 11.1 position of the United States retail industry. So there are online retail, general merchandise, and gasoline and fuel, and consumer durable, and specialty store, food and beverage, and motor. The figure 11.1, the retail industry can be grouped into 7 major segments. And major image shows comparison of the United States retail industry. So 7 major segments of the United States retail industry, which are consumer durable, specialty store, foods and beverage, and also motor, gasoline and fuel, online retail, and general merchandise. The motor sector is the most similar to the online retail sales sector. In the absence of physical store, motor retailer distribute millions of physical catalog, their largest expense, and operate large telephone call centers to accept orders. So mail order, telephone order, yeah, very similar. E-commerce retail, the vision. The vision. In the early years of e-commerce, literally thousands of entrepreneurs, web-based retailers were drawn to the marketplace for retail goods simply because it was one of the largest market opportunities in the United States economy. Many entrepreneurs initially believed it was easy to enter the retail market. Only writers predict that the retail industry would be revolutionized, literally brown to bit, as prophesied by 2 consultants in a famous Harvard Business School book, Evans and Worcester. The basis of this revolution would be fourfold. First, because the internet greatly reduced both search cost and transaction cost, consumer would use the web to find the lowest cost product. Several results would follow. Consumer would increasingly drift to the web for shopping and purchasing, and only low-cost, high-service, quality online retail merchants would survive. Economists assume that the online consumer was rational and cost-driven, not driven by perceived value or brand, both of which are non-rational factor. Second, it was assumed that the entry costs to the online retail market were much less than those needed to establish physical storefront, and that online merchants were inherently more efficient at marketing and order fulfillment than offline store. the cost of establishing a powerful website were thought to be minuscule compared to the cost of warehouses, fulfillment center, and physical store. Third, as prices fell, traditional offline physical store merchandise would be forced out of business. New entrepreneurial companies such as Amazon would replace the traditional store. It was thought that if online merchants grew very quickly, they would have first mover advantages and lock out the older traditional firms that were too slow to enter the online market. First, in some industries, such as electronic, apparel, and digital contents, the market would be disintermediated as manufacturer or their distributor entered to build a direct relationship with the consumer, destroying the retail intermediary or middleman. In this scenario, traditional retail channels such as physical store, sales clerk, and sales forces would be replaced by a single dominant channel, the web. So reduce the search and transaction cost, consumer able to find lowest price, lowered market entry cost, lower operating cost, higher efficiency, and traditional physical store merchant forced out of business. Some industry would be disintermediated. So few of these assumptions were correct. Structure of retail marketplace has not been revolutionized. Internet has created new venues for omni-channel firms and supported a few play merchant. So the internet has created an entire new venues for omni-channel firms, those that sell product through a variety of channels and integrate their physical store with their website and more platform. And in many cases, the internet has supported the development of pure play online only merchant, both general merchandiser as well as specialty retailers. As predicted, online retail has indeed become the fastest growing and most dynamic retail channel in the sense of channel innovation. The web has created a new marketplace for millions of consumers to conveniently shop. The internet and the web have continues to provide new opportunity for entire new firm using new business model and new online product such as Blue Nile as previously described. The online channel can conflict with the merchant other channel such as direct sales forces, physical store, and mail order, but this multi-channel conflict can be managed and turned onto our strengths. The online retail sector today. Although only retailing is one of the smallest segments of the retail industry, constituting only about 12% of the total retail market today, it is growing at a faster rate than its offline counterpart, with new functionality and product lines being added every day. Smallest segment of retail industry, about 10%, growing at faster rate than offline segment. The computer and consumer electronics generate highest percentage of revenue, followed by the apparel and accessory category. In the United States, the computer and consumer electronic category generate the highest percentage of revenue, around 100 billion. Online shopping options for this category include Amazon, direct manufacturers such as Apple, Dell, Hewlett-Packard, Lenovo, omnichannel chains such as Best Buy, and catalog merchants such as CDW and PC Connection. The apparel and accessory category generate the second highest percentage of revenue, around 90 billion. Consumers have a wide choice of online shopping options in this category, such as omnichannel department store chain like Macy's, Nordstrom, Target, and Walmart, and specialty retailer like Gap, J. Crew, Urban Outfitter, Abercrombie and Fitch, and Ralph Lauren. This is one category where Amazon does not dominate, in part because clothing shoppers tend to identify more strongly with a special brand than they do with products that are more of a commodity, such as consumer electronics. Around 80% of internet users will buy online in 2018. Primary beneficiary establish offline retailer with online presence. The example, Staples. Pure play online retailer. The example, Amazon. Omnichannel integration. Integrating web operation with physical store operation. Leverage value of physical store. Types of integration. Example, online order, in-store pickup. Like Walmart or Whole Foods or and so forth. Social e-commerce growth, and also location-based marketing of local goods and services. And rapidly growing mobile platform. The primary beneficiary of growing consumer support are not only the pure online company, but also the established offline retailer who have the brand name recognition, supportive infrastructure, and financial resources to enter the online marketplace successfully. Apart from Amazon, the top online retail firm in terms of online sales are all primarily omnichannel firms that have established brand name and for whom e-commerce still play a relatively small role when compared to their offline physical store channels such as Walmart, Macy's, Staples, Home Depot, Best Buy, Costco, Nordstrom, Target, and Kohl's. Actually, social e-commerce refer to marketing and purchasing on social network sites like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, and others. However, these sites have developed into major marketing and advertising platforms that help direct consumers to external websites to purchase products. Also, the social and local e-commerce are established by the tremendous growth in mobile internet devices, both smartphone and tablet company. As you know, whereas in the past only large firms could afford to run online marketing and advertising campaigns, this has changed with the development of local marketing firms like Groupon, Ribbing Social, and dozens of others, which make it possible for consumers to receive discount, deal, and coupon from local merchants based on their geographical location. Figure 11.2 Online Retail Revenue by Category 2017. Computer and electronic is the leading online purchase category in terms of revenue generated, accounting for over 22% of all online retail revenues. A bar graph shows online retail revenue by category for the year 2017. The graph shows percentage of revenue on the y-axis and sales in billion on the x-axis. The data is as follows: computer and electronics $100 billion and 22.1% of sale. And then apparel and accessory $90.15 billion in sales and 19.9%. Auto and auto part $43.18 billion and 9.5%. Furniture and home furnishing $42.27 billion and 9.3%. Books, music, and video $33.65 billion and 7.4%. Health and personal care $30.55 billion and 6.7%. Toys and hobby $22.93 billion and 5.3%. Office equipment and supply $12.52 billion and 2.9%. Hardware and home improvement $13.14 billion and 2.9%. Food and beverage $12.61 billion and 2.8%. Specialty $10.88 billion and 2.4%. Sporting good $5.89 billion and 1.3%. Julie, $3.17 billion and 0.7%. Otter, $31.23 billion and 6.9%. And figure 11.3, online retail revenue will be an established 526 billion in 2018 and are expected to increase to 892 billion by year 2022, almost doubling since 2017. A graph shows growth of online retail revenue in the United States between the year 2013 and 2022. The x-axis shows years and y-axis shows revenue in billions, ranging from 0 through 900 in increments of 100. The years and the corresponding revenue are shown as follows: 2013, $261 billion; 2014, $298 billion; 2015, $343 billion; 2016, $391 billion; 2017, $455 billion; 2018, $526 billion; 2019, $604 billion; 2020, $691 billion; 2021, $787 billion; 2022, $892 billion. Analyze the viability of online firm. Economic viability. In this and following, we analyze the viability of a number of online companies that exemplify specific e-commerce model. We are primarily interested in understanding the near to medium term, 1 through 3 years, economic viability of these firms and their business model. Economic viability refers to the ability of firms to survive as profitable business firms during the specified period. To answer the question of economic viability, we take two business analysis approach: strategic analysis and financial analysis. So strategic analysis focused on both industry and firm itself. So strategic approach to economic viability focuses on both the industry in which a firm operates and the firm itself. The key industry strategic factors are barriers to entry, power of supplier, power of customer, existence of substitute product, industry value chain, nature of intra-industry competition. Financial analysis: how firm is performing. Strategic analysis helps us comprehend the competitive situation of the firm. Financial analysis helps us understand how, in fact, the firm is performing. There are two parts to a financial analysis: the statement of operations and the balance sheet. The statement of operation tells us how much money or loss the firm is achieving based on current sales and cost. The balance sheet tells us how many assets the firm has to support its current and future operation. Here are some of the key factors to look for in a firm's statement of operation. So strategic analysis factors already explain barriers to entry. Can new entrant be barred from entering the industry through high capital cost or intellectual property barriers, such as patent and copyright? And power of suppliers. Can suppliers dictate high prices to the industry, or can vendors choose from among many suppliers? Have firms achieved sufficient scale to bargaining effectively for lower prices from suppliers? Power of customer. Can customer choose from many competing suppliers and hence challenging high prices and high margin? Existence of substitute product. Can the functionality of the product or service be obtained from alternative channels or competing product in different industry? Are substitute product and services likely to emerge in the near future? Industry value chain is the chain of production and distribution in the industry changing in ways that benefit or harm the firm. Nature of intra-industry competition is the basis of competition within the industry based on differentiated product and service, price, scope of offerings, or frequencies of offering. How is the nature of competition changing? Will these changes benefit the firm? Firm specific factor. The strategic factor that pertains specifically to the firm and its related business include firm value chain. Has the firm adapted business processes and methods of operation that allow it to achieve the most efficient operation in its industry? Where changes in technology forces the firm to redesign its business processes, core competencies? Does the firm have unique competencies and skills that cannot be easily duplicated by other firms? Which changes in technology invalidate the firm's competency or strengthen them? Synergy. Does the firm have access to the competencies and assets of related firms, either owned outright or through strategic partnership and alliances? Technology. Has the firm developed proprietary technology that allow it to scale with demands as the firm developed the operational technology. Example, customer relationship management, fulfillment, supply chain management, inventory control, and human resource system to survive social and legal challenges as the firm put in place policies to address consumer trust issues, privacy and security of personal information. Is the firm the subject of lawsuit challenging its business model, such as intellectual property ownership issues? Will the firm be affected by changes in internet taxation laws or other foreseeable statutory development? Financial analysis factor, statement of operation, the revenue. Here are some of the key factors to look for in firm statement of operation. Revenue, are revenue growing and at what rate? Many e-commerce companies have experienced impressive, if explosive, revenue growth as an entirely new channel is created. Cost of sales. What is the cost of sales compared to revenue? Cost of sale typically include the cost of the product sold and related cost. The lower the cost of sales compared to revenue, the higher the gross profit. Gross margin. What is the firm's gross margin and is it increasing or decreasing? Gross margin is calculated by dividing gross profit by net sales revenue. Gross margin can tell you if the firm is gaining or losing market power vis-a-vis its key supplier. Operating expenses. What are the firm's operating expenses? And are they increasing or decreasing? Operating expenses typically include the cost of marketing, technology, and administrative overhead. They also include, in accordance with professional accounting standard, stock-based compensation to employee and executives, and amortization of goodwill and other intangible and impairment of investment. In e-commerce company, these turn out to be very important expenses. Many e-commerce firms compensated their employee with stock share or options, and many e-commerce firms purchased other e-commerce firms as a part of their growth strategy. Many of the companies were purchased at extremely high values using company stock rather than cash. In numerous instances, the purchased company fell dramatically in market value. All these items are counted as normal operating expenses. Operating margin. What did the firm earn from its current operation? Operating margin is calculated by dividing operating income or loss by net sales revenue. Operating margin is an indication of a company's ability to turn sales into pre-tax profit after operating expenses have been deducted. Operating margin tells us if the firm's current operation are covering its operating expenses, not including interest expenses and other non-operating expenses. Net margin. Net margin tells us the percentage of its gross sales revenue the firm was able to retain after all expenses are deducted. Net margin is calculated by dividing net income or loss by net sales revenue. Net margin sums up in one number how successful a company has been at the business of making a profit on each dollar of sales revenue. Net margin also tells us something about the efficiency of the firm by measuring the percentage of sales revenue it is able to retain after all expenses are deducted from gross revenues and within a single industry. It can be used to measure the relative efficiency of competing firms. Net margin takes into account many non-operating expenses such as interest and stock compensation plan. Pro forma earning before interest and tax, depreciation, and amortization. Many e-commerce firms in early years instead reported an entire new calculation called pro forma earning, also called EBITDA, earning before income tax, depreciation, and amortization. Pro forma earnings generally do not deduct stock-based compensation, differentiation, or amortization. The result is that pro forma earnings are always better than generally accepted accounting principle earnings. When examining financial accounting of e-commerce company, it is important to realize that online firms often choose not to announce their net income according to generally accepted accounting principle. These principles have been promulgated by the Financial Accounting Standard Board, a board of professional accountants that establish accounting rules for their profession and which has played a vital role since the 1934 Security Act, which sought to improve financial accounting during the Great Depression. Balance sheet. A balance sheet provides a financial snapshot of a company asset and liability on given date. Asset refer to stored value. Current assets are those assets such as cash, security, account receivable, inventory, or other investment that are likely to be able to be converted to cash within 1 year. Liability are outstanding obligation of the firm. Current liability are debt of the firm that will be due within 1 year. Liability that are not due until the passage of a year or more are characterized as long-term debt. For a quick check of a firm's short-term financial health, examine its working capital. The firm's current asset minus current liability. If working capital is only marginally positive or negative, the firm will likely have trouble meeting its short-term obligation. Alternatively, if a firm has a large amount of current asset, it can sustain operational losses for a period of time. E-commerce in action, Amazon. Vision, lowest price, best selection, most customer-centric. So far, we have been discussing online retail as if it were a single entry. In fact, as we briefly discussed, there are four main types of online retail business model: virtual merchant, omnichannel, merchandiser, sometimes referred to as brick and click or click and brick, catalog merchant, and manufacturer direct from. Figure 11.4 illustrate the respective shares of United States online retail sales for each of these category of firm. In addition, there are thousands of small retailers that use the eBay and Amazon sales platform, as well as affiliate merchant whose primarily revenue derives from sending traffic to their mother site. Each of these different types of online retailers faces a different strategic environment as well as different industry and from economic. The business model: retail third-party merchant and Amazon Web Service. The Amazon, the Seattle-based virtual merchant, is one of the largest and most well-known company in the world. Amazon's objective is to be Earth's most customer-centric company. In pursuing this goal, Jeff Bezos and his team have built the world's most successful and innovative online retailer. Few business enterprises have experienced the roller coaster ride from explosive early growth to huge losses and then onto profitability that Amazon has. No internet business has been both so widely reviled and so hotly praised throughout its development. Its stock reflects these changing fortunes, fluctuate from an early high of $106 in 1999 to a low of $6 a share in 2001, then bouncing back and falls back $50 through $90 in 2003, 2009, and then steadily climbing over the rest 6 years to high of over 1,800 in 2018, making founder and CEO Jeff Bezos the richest man in the world, surprising Bill Gates. The original vision shared by Jeff Bezos and other successful e-commerce pioneers was that the internet was a revolutionary new form of commerce and that only company that became really big early on, ignoring profitability, would survive. The path to success, according to Bezos, was to offer consumers three things: the lowest price, the best selection, and convenience. Currently, Amazon offers consumers millions of unique new, used, and collectible items in a variety of different categories, both physical and digital, all with user-generated review. Business model. Amazon business is divided into two segments, North American and international. Within those segments, it serves not only retail customer but also merchant and developer. The retail component of the business sells physical and digital product that Amazon has purchased and then resells to consumer just like a traditional retailer. It also manufactures and sells a variety of versions of its Kindle e-reader, Kindle Fire, and Amazon Echo series of devices. The company also sells products under its own private label, including Amazon Basics, which sell common items like a USB cord and battery, while the Kindle Fire smartphone provide unsuccessful. The Echo voice-activated speaker with intelligent assist Alexa has generate a commanding position in a rapidly growing market for this device with over 70% market share and could be Amazon next must-have device. Another major component of Amazon business is third-party merchant segment. Amazon's service enables third-party to integrate their product into Amazon website and use Amazon customer technology. In the early years of its business, Amazon entered into partnership with large merchants such as Toys R Us, Borders, and Target, and create storefront for these companies within the larger Amazon site. However, many of these businesses turned to Amazon as a last resort, hoping that if they couldn't beat Amazon, they could join them instead with underwhelming result. For example, Toys R Us and Border are now bankrupt, and Target has long since ended its partnership with Amazon, although some analysts suspect Amazon could look to acquire Target to improve its mixture of online and offline retailing capability. Actually, they acquire Whole Foods. Amazon has increasingly left the enterprise level business to competitor and instead focused its effort on small and medium-sized retailing merchant. And thousands of these types of merchants have signed on with Amazon, offering products that in some instances even compete with those that Amazon itself sells. Another major part of Amazon business is Amazon Web Service. Through this segment, Amazon offers scalable computing power and storage space for business without their own hardware infrastructure and provide developers with direct access to Amazon technology platform, allowing them to build their own application based on that platform. In 2018, Amazon Web Services is expected to account for over $20 billion in revenue, a five-fold increase over the $4.6 billion generated in 2014. Amazon Web Service delivers more profit than Amazon's entire retail business. Refer for more detail next time. Despite the profitability of Amazon Web Service, Amazon still generates the bulk of its overall revenue by selling products. While Amazon started out as an online merchant of book, CD, and DVD, Blu-ray, since 2002, it has diversified into becoming a general merchandiser of millions of other products. Amazon has turned itself into a major online media and content firm, and following its success with Kindle ebook, has also made a strong move into the music and streaming video business with Amazon Music and Amazon Instant Video. Typically, 20% of Amazon revenue comes from media sales and 70% comes from sales of electronics and general merchandise. Financial analysis. Amazon's revenue have increased from about 600 million in 1998 to an astounding 177 billion in 2007. This is very impressive, explosive revenue growth. However, Amazon's aggressive pursuit of growth has made it difficult for the company to maintain consistent profit in the past. From 2011 through 2014, Amazon boomeranged from losses to profitability on a yearly basis. Amazon finally strung together a series of profitable quarters in 2015, continuing through to 2018. However, Amazon continued to spend huge amount of fulfillment centers, international expansion, and streaming video. At the end of December 2017, Amazon had about 31 billion in cash and marketable security. These liquid assets were obtained from sales of stock and not to the public, venture capital investor, and institutional investor in return for equity, sales, share in the company, or debt security. Such as financial holiday season purchasing and major acquisitions such as the company's 13 billion purchase of Whole Foods supermarket. Amazon current assets should certainly be enough to cover future short-term deficit should they occur. Continued explosive revenue growth, profitable. Strategic analysis, business strategy. Amazon engaged in a number of business strategies that seeks to maximize growth in sales volume while cutting prices to the bare minimum. Its revenue growth strategies include driving the growth of e-book sales by offering continuing enhancement of its Kindle e-reader and Kindle Fire tablet computer, both in the United States and internationally, as well as new e-book publishing initiatives, expanding further into the device manufacturing business, with Amazon Fire TV and Amazon Echo expanding its music and streaming video business, with each Amazon Music and Instant Video services, expanding its Amazon Web Service offerings and extending their geographic reach, moving toward a broader trading platform by expanding the third-party seller segment, continuing to grow its Amazon business-to-business marketplace segment. For more on Amazon business in later. And moving toward greater product focus by grouping its offering into major category, it calls stores and special events that drive overall sales, such as Prime Day, an online version of Black Friday that generate 1 billion in sales and 100 million units on Amazon in 2080. Amazon is still following Walmart and eBay's example by attempt to be a mass market, low price, high volume online supermarket where you can get just about anything. Specific programs to increase retail revenue are the continuation of free shipping from Amazon Retail, a strategy that has increased order size by 25%. Amazon Prime, which for $109 a year provide free 2-day shipping and 1-day delivery upgrade, as well as free access to Prime Music and Prime Video, greater product selection, and shorter order fulfillment time. Amazon Prime membership is steadily increasing with an estimated 100 million members in the United States in 2080. Amazon offers customer same-day shipping in over 5,000 cities and towns in the United States, and is Prime Now 1-hour delivery service in 34 cities. A ticking clock can be seen next to some Amazon sale item, indicating the hours remaining for an order to make it to the customer by the next day. Maximize sale volume, lower cost and price, acquisition, mobile shopping, new product and service. Strategic analysis and competition. Amazon has both offline and online competition. Major competitors include eBay, is primarily online competitor, and omnichannel retailers such as Walmart, Sears, and JCPenney. In 2016, Walmart purchased discount Amazon competitor Jet.com for $3.3 billion as it continued to suffer at the hands of Amazon, both falling behind in overall market capitalization and stalling in e-commerce growth as Amazon boomed. However, in 2017 and 2018, Walmart earnings routinely has beaten Wall Street estimate in both earnings and revenue. Walmart has made a host of acquisitions to improve its e-commerce capability, including online clothing retailer Bonobos, Shoebuy, Moosejaw, and ModClothes. Walmart has also begun offering free 2-day shipping, the ability to quickly reorder items frequently purchased, and online grocery service, where its 4,700 store dwarf Amazon 460 acquired from Whole Foods, giving it a much more robust network for delivering goods. Walmart and Amazon are each trying to become more like the other. Walmart already has the physical infrastructure that Amazon is desperately racing to build, whereas Amazon's e-commerce capability is far more advanced than Walmart. So, online and offline general and catalog merchandiser web service. Amazon has also fully engaged iTunes and Netflix in competition by offering video and audio download. Amazon Music Unlimited allow users to store and play music online, offer over 40 million DRM-free MP3 songs from both major music labels and thousands of independent labels, and can be played on virtually any hardware device and managed with music software. Amazon Instant Video offer over 66,000 movies and TV shows to rent or buy, and Amazon Prime Music, launched in 2014, offered over 2 million tracks that users can stream for free. However, Amazon and Apple also need one another. In 2017, Apple and Amazon agreed to allow Apple TV users to stream Amazon Prime content, and in return, Amazon allows the formerly blacklisted Apple TV to be sold on Amazon again. Strategic analysis technology. Anyone who believes that information technology doesn't make a difference clearly does not know much about Amazon. Amazon arguably has the largest and most sophisticated collection of online retailing technology available at any single online site. It has implemented numerous website management, search, customer interaction, recommendations, transaction processing, and fulfillment services and system using a combination of its own proprietary technology and commercially available licensed technology. Amazon transaction processing system handle millions of items, numerous status inquiry, gift wrapping requests, and multiple shipment methods. Customer can receive order in single or multiple shipment based on availability and track the progress of each order. On the fulfillment side, every warehouse employee carries a shoe-horn-sized device that combines a barcode scanner, a display screen, and two-way data transmitters. The sheer size and scope of Amazon technological capability was the motivation for the launch of Amazon Web Service, which controlled 33% of cloud computing marketplace in 2018, compared to just 13% for Microsoft Azure and 6% for Google Cloud Platform. Amazon also continued to invest in new version of the Kindle e-reader and consumer electronics such as the Kindle Fire device, as well as Project like drone delivery and the Amazon Echo Home Assistant. The largest, most sophisticated collection of online retailing technology available. And strategic analysis, social legal. Amazon continually faces lawsuit concerning various aspects of each business. Most common are patent infringement suit, largely settled out of court. Currently, there are several pending patent suits, including some involving the Kindle. In recent years, Amazon has faced increased challenges from stage easier to begin collecting sales tax from online purchases. Until 2011, only customers in 5 states were required to pay sales taxes. Between distribution center expansion and state registration requiring large online sellers to collect sales tax, even in the absence of physical presence, that number has ballooned to all 45 states with sales tax in 2018. Earlier, many states had offered Amazon tax break deal to lure its business, perhaps not expecting that untaxed sales would become billions of dollars in lost tax revenue. As many of those deals expire, Amazon has already begun an aggressive and costly expansion of its warehousing infrastructure across the United States to support same-day delivery. The rising cost of shipping represents one of the biggest threats to Amazon's long-term profitability, which explains the company's renewed effort to explore shipping alternatives. So sales tax and patent lawsuit. And future prospect. In 2016, Amazon finally began to show investors and analysts that they had been waiting years to see: sustainable profitability. The profitability of its Amazon Web Service until its unit is also a major positive for Amazon, with revenue from Amazon Web Service continuing to rapidly grow in 2018. Amazon Prime is also a key component of the company's strong performance, with Prime's subscription revenue nearly quadrupling from $2.76 billion in 2014 to $9.7 billion in 2007. However, Amazon has reached its current position of dominance in e-commerce by defying analyst expectation, and the company plan to return to its old habit of spending prodigiously to grow even larger in 2018 and beyond, compromising profitability in the process. Each anyone guess that what Amazon may look like in a few years' time. Amazon has turned corner to sustainable profitability, increased profit from Amazon Web Service, Amazon Prime, and also continued to invest in future products and services.